Hello friends, so in this video we're going to discuss about the spilled data, okay, and intermediate files. What are the intermediate files and how the process works in shuffling, okay. So to compress the spilled data, we have one parameter which is spark.shuffle.spill.compress. So whatever the data is spilled, we can compress that in the disk, okay, because to reduce the memory space, okay, of the spilled data. And to compress the intermediate file, so it is the same thing, spark.shuffle.compress, okay. So we can compress the spill data as well as the intermediate file. I'll tell you what our intermediate files are. And let's say in a cupboard you have t-shirts and your pants jumbled all together in all the racks, okay, or in all the partitions. Now the what Spark will do is, so Sparks know that he has to shuffle and create a new RDDs with in the one rack you will have t-shirts, in the other rack you will have the pants, okay. So what the Spark will do, it will use the intermediate table, okay. Intermediate table are similar to your, has the one-to-one mapping of the partitions, okay, of one-to-one mapping of the of your racks. So let's say in one rack you have big towel and a small towel jumbled all together. So the Spark will scan your first partition and it will place nicely in the intermediate table partition, okay. In the intermediate table partition it will put your big table, your big towel or the small towel all together in this format, in this in the intermediate table in a very nice fashion, okay. Similarly, in the other rack, if it find only one item which is below, it will place it there. In the other item, if we find that okay, it has only your small towel, it will place it into the partition of the intermediate table, okay. So once this solve process is done, what the Spark will do, okay, now he want to put only small towels in one of the partition, so it will scan all the partition of the intermediate table and pick the towels accordingly in all the partition and places it into the new RDD or the new cupboard of the partitions, okay, in one of the partitions. So let's say if the number of objects that will be serialized or deserialized together when it's spilling to disk, okay. So we know that we can spill the data to the disk, okay, based on the memory that we have used. So and we can compress that also. So then let's say if I want to serialize 1 lakh or 1 million objects, okay, if I want to, if I do the serialization, this will take lot of space and efforts. So what I'll do is I'll create the batches, okay. Default is 10,000. So what the Spark will do is it will create 10,000 batches, and based on the batches it will serialize the or deserialize the data, okay, uh, in terms of shuffling, okay. And there's an external service also. So we can assign the port also for that external service. So we have already covered that in the previous video, that the shuffle services are like background running jobs, okay. In case of your executor got failed, okay. So let's say if your Spark is reading one of the partitions, okay, and it is storing the data into the intermediate tables, and there are many executors, they are scanning the pre-partitions, okay. So there are many executor, many persons are scanning the rack and placing it in the intermediate table. So let's say one person got sick or one executor got failed, okay. So if the other partitions, the other executor don't know where the data it has placed, okay, and how much remaining data it has to process. So so there is an external service which come into picture, which is a background service that is running and which will keep track of the data, okay, of how many chunks has been already been sent to the intermediate table while shuffling. So it keeps the track, and it, even if the executor got failed, the other executor will check and get to know from the external service that how much data is still left to put into the intermediate table. Okay, so yeah, that's all. We'll meet in next video. Thank you.